Akko here, welcome back to FTB Direwolf 1.7.10, episode 41. Yeah, episode 41. I'm having issues. I'm going to start off by saying I'm having some issues here. I just connected this guy up about 20 minutes ago now, and when I placed that guy first, it placed, I misclicked. Instead of clicking on the bottom of that, it clicked on the side. So I like that, but it didn't appear back in my inventory, so I was one short. So I slipped into cheat mode and give myself one back because that should have broke. As you can see there, that pick is meant to break that. I've also, just for full disclosure, I tried breaking the cyanide reprocessor. I've done it 3 times. I did it with this axe, just destroyed it. I just tried an iron axe, a vanilla iron axe, that destroyed it. So I cheated myself one of them back in. I don't know how you meant to pick up the cyanide reprocessor from big reactors. Anyway, so yeah, I did that and it vanished. So I cheated myself one back in, and this one will not work. I don't know what's up with it. Everything's the same. It's got power, because you can see the power goes up. If I put this back here, well, the power's going up. There's a little bit of work. Then it just stops. It's got a path to bedrock, so that's okay. Unless there's like a light source or something blocking the path to bedrock. But all the rest work. That one done. Anyway, so I restarted and now my server won't connect. So this is actually a single player version of my world because my server won't reconnect for some reason. I've tried my host redirect and stuff, and it just didn't want to connect. So something's broken. Something's broken on my end. I've got plans for this episode, and I've got stuff to talk about as well. I'm actually not going to do an episode on this for a couple of days. It might be even more so now that I cannot seem to get my server working properly. What I've done since last episode was a world download, of course. What I've done since the last episode is I have rebuilt all my reactors, and this is what I ended up going with. Now my plan for this episode is to build the 4th one. I've got 3 of these reactor turbine setups. So what I've gone with is a 9x9x3 reactor in the middle that can put out 4,000 millibuckets a tick when it's set to 40% rod insertion. It's actually not quite 4,000 there, but it's close enough. Well, that powers 2 full-size turbines, and it lets them spin up and put out 28,000-ish each. So I've got 3 of these made and running, and I'm going to make the 4th one now. I'm going to upgrade the 4th one. So while I'm going to do that, I'm going to talk about stuff. Now you can see this is all full, partly because that last bloody laser drill just won't work. It's blowing my mind. Why won't it work? I don't know. Well, as you can see, I put a little bit of glass from these, by the way, just so I can actually walk over it. I can walk through the laser, which is a bad idea, so I'm not going to do that. But as you can see there, we've got 4 lasers this side, I mean, all running. And if we check our power monitor there, you'll see that we use 140,000 RF a tick, which is right for 7 of them, so that 8th one should take us up to 260,000. We're actually producing, so that's 56, 112, 160, 164. So we've actually, even without this 4th reactor running, we're actually producing enough power to keep all these guys going, and all 8 of them going. So I don't actually need this 4th one at all. I'm just putting it together for the sake of putting it together. I'm probably not even going to spin it up. But we've got more power. We've got more power than we can deal with. We've over 200,000 RF a tick when the 4th reactor is made. But yeah, I just don't get why that last one just won't work. I don't know if it was the block disappearing that caused the issue one. Is it a corrupt block? Let's swap it for that one. Well, they aren't stacked, so there's something. Oh, that don't work. So this one, will that work? I don't know what my torches ended up in my inventory for then. In my oh, that one's working. Bizarre. Don't know what's going on. My mind is officially blown. So anyway, I've been playing around with the fuel usage. I've wasted a lot of fuel because I've broken a lot of reactors. So that actually takes my fuel down. Still over 10,000 uranium. I am also processing the cyanite slowly to plutonium. So we're up to 1700 plutonium there. So yeah, that's going to change. So this last reactor I'm going to put together, we're actually going to use plutonium in it. But like I said, I don't actually need it. So I might have to use one of the other ones for plutonium. So there's all the bits we're going to need. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this turbine down. This one's offline. I just want to show you my process while I'm talking about other stuff. So the reason why I'm not going to do an episode for a couple of days, first of all, I'm going to try and get my server working properly again. Once that's sorted, my big mistake I've made with this build now is the Terra Shatter, really good for taking these apart, because it did 9x9, it's down to 7x7, so I think it needs feeding a bit more, but it's doing a 7x7 wide area, so I can just, sorry for the noise, that's a bit appalling, I appreciate that. There we go, we're just taking that reactor to bits, and we've got that turbine to bits. We've got a full turbine in our inventory there, nice and quick. Let's turn that Terra Shatter off. So yeah, my big mistake I've done with this build is I've built a huge build before I understood Applied Logistics 2. I'm getting to a point where I'm confident with Applied Logistics 2, but well, yeah, I'm pretty confident. You may have seen the video I put out yesterday. That was Applied Logistics 2 related, of course. My inventory is so full. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my system so that it is going to be a P2P for each room. So if you think I've got 4 floors, 6 rooms each floor, that's 24 P2Ps that side, 24 that side. I want one shared for the terminals in the corridors and the turbine rooms. So that's 24, 48, 49. I want 49 different P2P things. So that clearly is not big enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use that as I'm going to keep that because I like the look of this, and I'm going to come down below here after I've connected to these drives. So these drives are going to be on the same channel, the same set of channels as the terminals up there and the reactors, hopefully, if I can get 32 out of it. And then all the rest are going to be on a separate controller that branches off that controller underneath there. It's going to take me a couple of days of working out, and it's bad video, and it's not just because it's going to be, well, it'll be bad video for recording it, but I don't plan on recording it. And if I try and do all the stuff in between on this server, on this single player at the minute, then it is going to it's going to be pretty boring, because all I can do is either record that, because I'm going to have to shut everything down to rebuild it all, you know what I mean? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do episodes on Resident Rise and on Feed the Beast Resurrection, and not do an episode of this for maybe 3-4 days, maybe up to a week, while between recorded episodes on them other 2 series, where I'll be putting all my E network together on here, and then I'll come back to this once I've got my E network together, and then I'll carry on and do a few more episodes on here. Now we are pretty close to ending this series anyway, because I pretty much, I mean, look at the ridiculous endgame power I've got. The only mod I've not really touched that I want to touch is Witchery, but I'd rather do that on a server anyway, because it's more fun. Witchery is really server, it's a multiplayer kind of mod. It's not really as fun when you do it on a server, on a play on your own, you know. So I'm not going to do Witchery in here. I can rebuild the farms and stuff, and I can fill the spaces out in here, but I think it's part of the just going through the motions for the sake of it. So what I could do is I'm certainly going to finish the build. So I'll put the towers on, put the rest of the roofs on, and stuff like that. So that'll take me a couple of build episodes to do that. But as far as tech goes, and as far as magic goes, I'm at endgame in Blood Magic. I've got tier 6 altar and stuff all sorted. I am not that far into Thaumcraft, but I've got a lot of Thaumcraft going on the other 2 series, so I don't really want to get heavily into Thaumcraft on this series either, because that would be all 3 series doing quite a lot of Thaumcraft. So magic wise, there's not a lot for me to do. Tech wise, I mean, I'm at creative levels of power, so I could make anything tech that we've got left. I've done quite a bit of Ender IO, I've done a bit with MFR, I have not done anything with IC2, but I don't really see the point of getting into that at this stage of the game. So I think it's just a case of getting these turbines finished and then getting the build finished, and then I might just close up this series anyway. Oh, I forgot to press that. Extreme reactor rebuilding. This is where I've wasted quite a bit of my Uranium because I keep breaking these. What I want to do here is, in here I've got my portable tank and a bucket, so I can pick up this cryothium so it don't make a mess. Let's turn that terra shatter off. It's a bucket. So yeah, so I'm going to do this turbine build just to show you exactly what I've gone with as my crazy in-game turbine solution here. And this certainly I would use again, this double pattern, because it's a really efficient reactor design. So this 7x7x3 that I'm taking apart now, this was the design I used in Resident Raz. That was, it's a very good design itself. It's slightly less efficient than the one I'm making, but only very slightly. So this is a really good reactor design. If you want a solid reactor design that's going to power one turbine, certainly. This maximum can put out about 2,400 millibuckets of steam a tick, and for a turbine you need 2,000. So this can do a full. This can run a turbine fine. What it cannot do is run 2 turbines. And what I want to change it to is the ability so I can run 2 turbines, which is why I'm going with slightly more efficient design. So I'm actually improving on the design here as well. It's slightly more efficient than the one I'm using, and it gives me the ability to run 2 of these bad boys, which is kind of awesome. I want some of them, and my inventory is going to get really on my nerves. There's so much stuff here. What I want is that. Put that away for a minute, and so this floor we are going to be. I don't know what I'm doing that for. I don't need to do that. Just need to do one of them. Just chuck them blocks on the floor for a minute. And get my wand. That's already set to them. Don't even have to brick any of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to get some alpha glass. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I went with a lot simpler path in the end. If you remember from the last episode, I had a chisel glass design, but you cannot really see through it, and it was kind of blocking the view of the turbine. And the turbine setup, I think it deserves being able to be seen. You know what I mean? So rather than having, if you look back at my last episode, if you don't remember, I had like safety rails, and you couldn't actually see through the floor. It was glass, but it was a real thick design. You could barely see through. So I've changed it so you can actually see right through all this. That goes, oh, for God's sake. And now I can put some of this back away at least. So you go in there, you go in there, you go in there, and let's go pick up them bits I dropped. Because no point in littering, is there? They can go in there, and now we should be able to actually build our turbine, our reactor. So where I'm going here is 1 block off there and 1 block up. And before we was on a 7x7, now we're on a 9x9. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4, 5. Well, left. Don't want to do that. 6, 7, 8. Is that right? Let's check on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I was not right. Look, I was wrong. So in the middle, we're going to come in 1 and then go. So our design in the middle here is it's a 5x5 square of reactor. What they're called? Fuel rods. There we go. So it's a 5x5. It's going to be 5x5 fuel rods, and then there's a cross of fuel rods for the middle. There and there. And then what I'm going to want in the middle of this is I'm going to put glass around most of this. Even though you're not going to see this because we're going to have a turbine sat right underneath this, and a turbine sat right on top of it. There we go. Go right around there with glass. And these two holes I've covered with the glass. These two holes at the front I'm actually going to put in my reactor coolant ports. Go bang, bang. And the left one we're going to wrench into a output position. So it's going to be red. There we go. And then that is the base of our 9x9 here. So now for the next layer. What I actually need to grab is, this is all the extra bits. So the extra bits to take this from a 7x7x3 to a 9x9x3 is I need an extra 12 fuel rods, 12 control rods, makes sense. Another 3 coolant ports. I'll get to why there's 3 and not 2. 12 more casings and 45 more glass. That's our extended resource cost for the actual build. And now I've got 21 fuel rods. They're going to go in here. And then in amongst them we're going to get our cryothium back out, and we're going to put in cryothium there, there, over there, and over there, and then 4 gaps. So now we're done with the cryothium. That can actually go there out of the way, give me a bit of space. And we're done with the bucket. We're not done with the resonant fluid though. Okay, that's okay. So they're going to go there. Let's put our control rods on. We should have 21 control rods in total. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Now on the top, so this is going to be the roof of this reactor. We're going to go with glass again and then back to. And again, we're going to go with coolant ports on the top. So this is going to have our other turbine sat right up tight against it. And to keep things easy, I'm going to stick with having the red one on the left. So the red one's always on the left, the blue one's always on the right. And that'll come in handy when we get to the turbine part of this build. So that's the top of that bit done. Now I want to do the edges, of course. Let's go around, build our corners up. And because there's only a 3 tall one, just connect all these edges like so. Oh, you son of a... Always putting the wrong stack of stuff in, you bastard. Yeah, I can't think what's stopping my server connecting. It's blowing my mind. I can't see what's changed. It's my firewall rules all seem alright and stuff. My services, my service set, the server on the ports set right. I think I barely understand this stuff, but I think I've got it set right anyway. Controller there, redstone port there. As I mentioned before, this is really important now because what we're not doing here, when the turbine's on top of here, we're not going to be able to access these directly. So we can access it from in here. Set that to 40. Might as well set it now. So that's set to 40. We want to put glassing on around all the rest of the edges. No, we don't. We haven't put the bits on the other side in yet, have we? So 6, 7 glass down the side there. 7 down the back. And down this side, we want our 2 fuel access ports, so that's our input, and that's like uranium in, and our our blue cyanide out. I might as well put that in there, get it on my inventory. And what we're doing here is we're going to go that wants to be always extract. This wants to be insert onto yellow, and the fact we don't want that in there, because like I said I'm going to do with this one is when screw it, I'll put that in here because I'm not going to turn this one on, am I? Because we're getting too much power as it is. What I was going to do was I'm going to put a filter in, and I was going to put plutonium in this one, but I shall put that into tower 3 instead of this tower 4 one. I'll only turn this one on when I need to, you see. And then next to that, so that's just going to go down. I'm going to put that connect for now until I change this to being part of the AE, because I want to connect this via AE as well. Basically, I'm going to keep the Ender IO fuel energy plans, but I'm going to try and get rid of every single item conduit in the building. I'm going to try and do it all via AE now that I understand networks a bit better. So that's going to go down to there for now, and then gradually eventually be replaced with export and import buses. Here, what I've got is this extra coolant port I made, and this is because this is going to be sealed. We're not going to be able to get at them coolant ports or the bottom ones because we have a turbine either side. What I've got is I've got that there, so I can drop down here again and use this ender tank to actually put water into the reactor to fill it up when we first start it up. So when we first start this reactor, it's going to take that water, it's going to use that water to make steam, and then once it's up and running I can take that away and it's a closed system because you just keep recycling the steam back into water, and then you put the water back into steam. So the other ones just a closed system now, but you need water to seed it, to prime it, I guess would be the word. So you prime it with that water, and then once it's up and running you can take that away. So that's why I made an extra coolant port. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to come around all the way up to there. I'm not going to put that last one in, so we've got one bit of glass left. Before we do that, I'm going to go grab this guy. This is a floodgate from Buildcraft. Nice and simple recipe. I'm going to bang that there. We're going to bang our resonant ender portable tank on top. I'm going to wrench it so it's an output. What that's going to do, it's going to fill this up with resonant ender. So we've got 4 cryothium in the gaps in the middle, and we have got resonant ender right on the edge. And what that's going to do is, anywhere it can, it's going to put a source block of resonant ender. Of course, we've got a little sealed unit here. All it can do is put that. So that's 7, 14, 24. I think it uses 26. I think you lose a couple, but don't matter. I actually ran out of. I ran out of resonant ender. I ran out of ender pearls because the other side of the factory's not been connected for a while. I've got that ender pearl farm, and I've made that much ludicrate. I've actually used up all of my ender pearls. If you go back early in the series, before I started making any AE, I think I had a full 256 stack barrel of ender pearls. They're all gone. All of them gone, making ludicrate. So because it uses Endarian blocks, if you remember. So there we go. That's our reactor done. Now we're going to build our turbines on top of this. So I put some turbine stuff. Was it in there? I put it. No. Was it in that one? It was, yeah. Let's get all this back out. Now we've got room. So yeah, them ludicrate blocks, 32 of them. Each one takes 2 Endarian blocks, which takes 18 Endarium ingots. Endarium ingots take. Look at that. Making an alloy smelter. We're making it liquid. It's interesting. Induction smelter there. Invariant blend, use resonant ender bucket for 4 of them. So 250 millibuckets of liquid resonant ender, which of course you make in a magma crucible. So 1 ender pearl for 1 ingot. So I've used a lot of ender pearls, is what I'm trying to get at. Right, so first thing we want to do on here is the middle of this. I can get rid of a couple of things now. Oh, that damn backup thing. Very useful, but it makes your file sizes massive. They can go in there. I might as well put that in there, aren't I? Let's just get it out of my inventory. So that fuel can go in there. That'll fill all them up. Does that eat that full thing? Does it? Look at that. It's taking a full stack of that. Interesting. So I'm going to start off with our rotor bearing in the middle, and then what we want to do is our fluid ports there and there. So this time that one stays red, and this one wrenches to blue. So again, we're staying red on the left, blue on the right. You just wrench the opposite one on your turbine, then you do from your reactor. And now we want to go build our base up. So we're going to go 5 wide on the glass. And then we're going to go 7 by 7 on the corners now. So this is actually covering up this glass. So this does not have to be glass. Glass is only slightly more expensive than just normal blocks. Well, it makes it easier when you're building, I think. Glass is just a normal block with a bit of vanilla glass either side. So you could just have all this as normal blocks, which you don't see anyway. So it's not for aesthetic or anything. It's a bit easier when you're building it, so you can make sure that you know that you've got your resonant ender in every slot. So that's kind of probably why I went with it. I like to do it this way myself. I'll go with my rotor bearing, my, what are they called? Turbine rotor shaft next. So 14 of these. I'm a bit of a pro at this now because this is like the 7th and 8th ones of these are built in it. I've got 2 in each tower. And then we go with our ludicrate blocks. Starting at the top. And now we want our builder's wand. Bam, bam, bam. And then our blades. So we use 80 blades because we've got our shaft here is 14 long. We use 4 with the ludicrate, and then we have 10 with the blades. So 4 times 10. What? 8 times 10, 80. Because we've got 8 blades, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the things there. And can't even reach this bottom one. That doesn't look right, does it? What have I done there? Oh, balls. I've cocked that up, haven't I? I'll do this episode in one take if I can. Just do a real-time build on this thing, see how long it takes. But we're cocking up like that, it's going to make it take longer, isn't it? Oh, what did I do that for? What a knob. Just do that manually, screw it. 2 there, I've got 3 left, so I've got 1, 2, 3. That looks correct. Are you correct? Yep, that is correct. Wonderful. So now we can actually, it's a bit easier with the glass first than the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll come around with the glass. Now it works out quite nicely, this, and it's by accident. If I go quickly show you in the other room, once I've built this glass up to the top, and now we can use our builder's wand and go all the way level with the top of the ludicrate, like so, and then we can just easily put our edges in, you see. Oops. And there's our top. Now, another thing I've had issue with, slight issue, is the way the power is distributed using the conduits. So as you can see in the other room, I'll show you in a minute, that I've done it so we've got multiple conduits going in and out of stuff, just because I think it works like the conduit can carry 20,000 RF, but if it's got more than 20,000 RF coming in through one bit of conduit, it's going to be capped in it to 20,000 RF. So if you've got 2 bits of conduit, each one can take 20,000 RF a ticking. Is how I think it works. how I think it works. So if you have 2 conduits, you should be able to bring in 40,000 RF a tick. That makes sense to me, but I don't know if that's exactly how it works. I think it is. So I've got multiple conduits bringing things in and multiple ones bringing things out. I've got some where I don't need them, because I've got some on tesseracts where the tesseracts I could just have them straight up against the capacitor banks. But I kind of like the way it looks, so I've gone with it for looks as well. Yeah. We're done with this bit in a minute. I've got to do this all over again though, because I've got another turbine to put beneath here. We should have 14 left and we've got 13. What's going on? I've already put one down, that's right. There, and now what I want to do is I want that block out. So this is what I was saying, turned out quite nice. If you look at this, this is one block below the bottom of the ludicrate blocks. It takes the ages when I'm flying. Come on. Come on. There we go. I want my controller in there, like so. So you see that's one block below. When I put this floor in, that's I've got it at eye height here. One block below the ludicrate. If I come down to the bottom one down here, onto this floor, which lines up with this floor here, happy accident. But if it comes to this one, that's one block above the ludicrate, and that's at eye height as well. So it's like I've designed it, and it fits kind of perfect. The 3 floors let you look right at the control, and the ludicrate blocks line up with the bottom and the top one. So it's kind of perfectly sized. How cool is that? It's the kind of thing that I like. Suits, it helps my OCD like traits that I've mentioned before. On the top, have I forgot to make the last one of them? No, we should have a spare one in here. We should have a spare. We have. There it is. I did plan ahead. Get off. So I've gone with 4 of these, even though I don't need it. It's putting out 28,000 RF for ticking it. So 2 of these can put out 10,000 each. So we need 3 of these to put out up to 30,000. I put 4 there just because it's just to even the design up. So it doesn't cost that much more to make that than a normal block. So I went with like that, and what we're doing on the top here is rather than wire things, there we go, we've formed our multi-block. Rather than wire things everywhere, I am going with, back down we go, some more stuff in the chest. I should really sort myself out with, oh, I've not made the capacitors. I should really sort myself out with wireless access to my network as well. I need another 5 of them. Do I need another 8 of them? 10 of them. Do I need another 5 for the bottom? Looks like I need another 8, unless I forgot where I put them. Are they in there? Not in there. I'll just double check in there. There's no point in making 8 of these if I don't need them. Not in there, so I don't think I've made the capacitor banks. So I'm going to need another 8 for the bottom one as well. So like I said last episode, if I'd waited and known these upgraded capacitor banks were coming, I would have made all them stacks in there, these ones. I'll have another 8 of them for the bottom. Oh, that's why I'm making 8 at a time. Another reason why I'm getting rid of the Ender IO stuff the way I've got it made is I've got to wait for stuff to craft, because it's running off level limiters rather than running off craft requests, which is a bad way of doing it. So what we're going to do up here is, so this is turbine 7. We've got a tesseract on the top there. As you can see, we have been changing the numbers of these. So channel 7 is now going to be called turbine 7. So these were putting the water in and out before, if you remember. I've changed them all now, so they're all not using liquids. So we're disabling the liquid one there, and this one is going to be sending energy. So turbine 7 sending energy, and then around that I'm going to have a nice, even and tidy looking 8 capacitors. Now I need to go in there and change them so that they want to be off. The inside there all want to be outputs, so output, yeah, and output, that's good. So that's outputting from this capacitor bank into the tesseracts, all good. And then the bottom ones, these want to be inputs, because these are getting input from the turbine power things into the capacitor banks. Now that's that sorted, and just so I can see it when I'm coming into the room from down there, I'm going to put that there and that there so I can see at a glance how full it is. And one other thing I need to do is, because mobs can spawn on here, is I want to go in there, grab one of them inverted lamps and put a lamp on top like that, so now mobs don't spawn on it. So that's the top end of that one done. To match up to that one, what I want to do down here is no longer need them lights. I'm going to take them off while I'm here. I need them two, not the outer two. I'll just quickly, oh shit, I meant to do that. I meant to shift click it. Just meant to normal click it. Oh, fool. Get in. Shift click, fool. Right click that, cycles through them, get rid of them funny orange things. So what I've done down here, like I said, it's partly to make sure I'm getting the energy in. I'm fairly confident that I could just have the Tesseracts straight up against the side. And I think Tesseracts, if I remember correctly, have an unlimited transfer, so I think that's fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out one. So what I've done in the other rooms as well, just to give me a bit of clarity of what's going on. I'm going like that. I'm putting two lines in, so we can put in 40,000, 20,000 in each of these two lines. And to make sure the flow's going the right way, extract and insert. So the power can only go one way. Extract and insert. And then this wants to be turbine 7. We want to disable the fluid part, and we want to make this receive only. So there's our power coming in from that top turbine when it's up and running. And what we need to do also is allow this to put power out. So I'm going to go so I'm having two power lines out as well, so this can put out maximum. I may be getting this wrong. If I am, I know there's clever people, there's cleverer people than me watch my channel, so it's always good for me because I get solid, good quality information from you guys. If anyone thinks or knows I'm doing this right or wrong, I would appreciate knowing. But for me, that looks like I can put out from this capacitor bank 40,000 RF a tick, because that can put out 20,000, as you can see there, and that one can put out 20,000. Which it is. Wonder where that's going. See, there was not actual them ones are, what do you call them, facades. That one there is, all the rest were just fake ones. So I need to do that side as well. I need to build this second turbine. I might as well do it off camera, aren't I? Because you've seen me put one together. So I'm going to cut the camera then. I won't do them both because it's just a straight repeat of that with these bits in this chest. So I should be back in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes when I've put all that in, and we'll have our turbine number 8 in. Okay, I am such a knob. I don't know if anyone of you have got sharp eyes, you may have noticed I did this and this one block too far this way, so it wasn't in the centre, so I had to pull it all apart and do it again because I have got OCD like issues. So yeah, I've redone it all again. I put the bottom one in, rebuilt that again. So we've got all these in here now. Like I said, I'm not going to turn this on. I'll put the walkways in as well. So this room's kind of done, apart from the tower, of course, that none of them have got. And I'm back on my server, by the way. It was a firewall issue. I've just done that, by the way, just to fill these up. Look, so I've just flicked them to energy, to input. As you can see there, that's putting in 40,960 a tick. So that's that double cable thing does work exactly what I thought it did. So what we're getting is 20,480 via each input there. So we're getting 40,960 in at once. So I'm just going to fill them up, like so they're full. Then for now, I'm just going to disable. Oh, I don't want to disable. Not bad. Shift click. There's a way of doing that, isn't there? Empty hand. Control click. Ah, that pissing no. There's a way of doing it, but I don't want to do that. Screw it, I'll do it with that one as well. Balls to you. So this one's my backup one, let's say. That one will be full as well now. Is that full? Yeah. So I've got a bit of backup power in there. I still got the MFR laser drill thing working. I can't get my head around what's working with that, what's wrong with that. It's maybe something real simple, I'm just not seeing it, but for the life of me I can't see what's wrong with that, why it ain't working. And the other thing I've done, I've just redone this bit because I'd done this bit and saved it, and I was saving the video when I worked out what was wrong with the server. It was, like I say, it was a firewall setting. It was, I think my Java updated a couple of days ago, and then because when the MFR thing happened, I restarted everything. Then it wouldn't let the Java through the firewall. That's meh. I think that's so. I've changed that in the firewall. I can get back on, so now I'm back on the server. Wonderful. This one I have changed the filter in there. So now instead of uranium, it's got plutonium, so we're running on plutonium in that one. So that's we'll see how long that lasts. So we're converting all the cyanide waste into plutonium, and that's getting pumped into that one. So that cheeky guy over there. So what we're rocking in here, let's have a look in there. So yeah, 140,000, that's all good. And this one is the only one that's got focuses in, and it's got the line ones in, so that goes up pretty quick. So that is keeping me Yellorium positive when I'm with the redstone and producing the rich slag. I'm positive on rich slag as well. That's going up very slowly, but it's going up. And yeah, the plutonium should make a difference. So we're at 10,538. I've got a couple of other issues. One is, if you're looking here, I've now got copper going into here, and ferrous, because them 4K drives are full. So I'm going to have to start looking at upgrading these to 16 or 64K drives, because they're all 4Ks. And you see, I'm up to 27,000 iron from, I was down to 700 at one point, wasn't I? So that's all good. What I'm going to finish this episode with, I'm just going to log off from here and jump into my single player test world that I did the P2P video in. There. And I'll quickly show you what I plan on doing in between episodes. So like I said at the start of this episode, I'm not going to do an episode in this series for a few days. I'm going to do Resident Rise and FTB Resurrection while I redo all the AE network. This is the kind of thing I'm looking at, I think. So that's the top of the ME spider as it is at the minute. So I've got a 3x3 controller. I'm going to P2P off that, and then come down underneath the beacon, and then put a bigger one. I've not decided how big I need it yet. That one there has got like 16 on there, and then 1, 3, 4, 5, 8 on each face there. So 8, 32. So it's that 48. Is that right? I can't get that right. 8, 16, 32. 48. So that maybe give me just enough channels to do the full base, so I can come off that on the bottom, and I can get 32 going one way, 32 going the other way, 20, 24 going each way. Maybe need a couple more on that, but I should be able to put a P2P into each room with something like that, I think, and do the entire base so every room's got its own 32 channels. Cool. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you as always for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and it wasn't too boring with watching me build that reactor again, turbine again, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.